Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this quick session on AI-driven FP&A leadership. We don't say AI is coming anymore. AI is already here, and it is impacting every single aspect of our business. The way we operate, the way we communicate, the way we think about workflows. Everything is being impacted by AI, and most companies are today concerned about implementing AI projects and also the talent readiness for their staff when it comes to AI understanding. Right. So, what are we going to cover today? So, today we'll not just look at some basic tools, or we'll try and understand AI beyond the tool and its architecture. Right. So, we'll start thinking about implementing AI like a leader, and we'll first understand how AI is impacting FP&A. Without AI, what was the case, and with AI, how FP&A will be different. And then we look at four different levels of AI, from simple automation to autonomous intelligence. So there are four different levels of AI. We look at those as well. And then finally, I'll share with you a quick roadmap. Those are the four pillars of AI-driven FP&A in order to achieve a true AI-driven FP&A. So what are these four pillars and how do you work on them? And then finally, we'll end up with some Q&A as well. And we can discuss about anything specific or any questions that you might have about the session. Do make sure that you stay through till the very end. We are sharing a special bonus, which is a pack of 20 plus use cases of using Claude inside Excel, specifically designed for FP&A. You'll get all the video instructions along with the practice data sets. You can use these 20 use cases and learn more about using and get rid of all the distractions. Make sure that you are concentrating on what we are sharing. And of course, close to 2 decades of experience as a CFO and a finance leader across India and the Middle East. I'm now the co-founder and lead faculty at FP&A Professionals Institute. Over the last 6 years, I've been an active online trainer and an instructor, and have trained more than 5,000 professionals on various topics like FP&A, finance business partnering, data storytelling, one-to-one CFO career coaching, and you will frequently see me in events as the moderator. I built a very vibrant community of more than 200 CFOs across the Middle East, and we keep meeting every quarter to exchange ideas and see how we can draw inspiration from that to build future-ready FP&A professionals. I'm joined by my co-founder, Asif Masani. Asif, quick introduction from your end.
Thank you so much, Dhawal, for having me. Quick intro quickly about me. So I've been working in finance and very specifically in FP&A for more than a decade. I started as an FP&A analyst back in 2013 and worked in FP&A for more than 12 years. And the most recent role before we started FP&A Professional Institute, I was the FP&A lead for APAC for one of the largest edtech companies globally. And in 2023, we started FP&A Professional Institute. What we do at FPI is not just bring in my and Dhawal's expertise to you, but we try to bring in expertise of top FP&A professionals across the globe, right from North America to Europe to Middle East. And we do that through whatever we do at FPI, be it books, uh, podcasts, YouTube videos, courses, certifications. So whatever we do at FPI, we try to bring in experience and expertise of top FP&A professionals to our alumni and members. So over the last few years, we have trained more than 5,000 students across all of the courses and certifications that you will see in the next slide, Dhawal.
Asif, I've already moved the slide, so one second. Just give me 1 second, Asif. Just give me
Yes,
one
yes,
second.
yes. I think your internet is not
Give me
very
1 second.
good. You may want to switch it to the another one.
Yeah. So these are all the courses and the certification programs that Asif talked about. Overall, we have trained more than 6,000 students over the last 3 years on various topics and certifications that you see on the screen. Certified Global FP&A program is our flagship certification, which is our 6-month program. It's our advanced program where we cover more than 25 plus case studies, 50 plus examples, all specific to FP&A. There's 10 different modules: budgeting, forecasting, management reporting, data storytelling, business partnering, strategy, AI for FP&A. All those modules along with these data analytics tools and AI tools as well. So those of you who are interested, you can check out our platform, fpnaprofessionals.com, and download the CGFPA brochure. The next cohort will start in June. Okay, so that's the flagship program that we have. So let's get started with today's session. How should CFOs or FP&A leaders plan their AI adoption. Now, when we talk about AI adoption, most of the people think about AI like a tool. I get requests every single day from FP&A leaders, professionals saying, hey, which AI tool do I use? Or what tool do I use in my company? Okay. I encourage all of you for the next 45 minutes, stop thinking about AI like a tool. AI is not a tool, it is a solution. It is the way you think, it is the way you approach, it is a technology solution, it is the way you solve problems. So there are multiple layers to AI. So stop thinking AI like a tool. Okay. And let's focus on what AI means in the larger context of the business and FP&A. And then we can see what tool will work for us. Okay. Although I'll show you a couple of tool examples today, but stop thinking AI as a tool, and it's more of a technology adoption journey that you will have to go through, both as an individual and as an organization. Now, what are the different levels of AI? Okay, from basic automation to autonomous intelligence, we can cover AI into four different levels. I'm going to quickly cover them. Okay, one is robotic process automation. Now, RPAs existed even before the growth of AI, right? It is all about rule-based automation. If there is any rule-based task, like if there is a task which has 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, that can be completely automated through RPA. And many examples are raising invoices. Like for example, a typical example would be that a phone bill that you get every month on your mobile app or your mobile phone bill. So that's all through RPA or basic automation. Then comes machine learning. Machine learning is where it is able to recognize certain patterns and give you a futuristic prediction. For example, I was speaking to a recent healthcare industry CFO who is a CFO of a large hospital chain, and they are using machine learning to predict what could be the patient inflow and what kind of doctor usage would be there in the next 2 to 3 months. So by analyzing large patterns of data, historical data, they are able to understand what would be the likely patient visits and revenue for the next couple of months, or let's say a quarter. Like, and you can also kind of look at your history. Like me as a patient, as an individual, I might be visiting a doctor or a clinic every 3 months or 6 months, or for whatever some XYZ illness, right? So they can detect patterns like this and give you some prediction in patient flow and revenue. Now that's an example of machine learning. Generative AI. Generative AI is all about creation. You can talk to the system or a tool like a natural language, in your natural language, and then it will give you some insights. You can use it for variance commentary, scenario analysis, building your narratives or your emails, your commentaries. All of that is generative AI, which most of you started using with your ChatGPT, your Claude, your Copilot. All of those things are your generative AI models. And then comes agentic AI. Agentic AI is where things are happening autonomously. There is a AP agent which will scan the invoices, make sure that the services are delivered, and it will automatically post a vendor invoice with a certain due date, and it gets paid on the due date. Now that's an autonomous AP clerk's function which an agentic AI tool will carry out for you. I was attending a real estate industry conference very recently, and they presented a AI agent which will talk to your customers for selling real estate. And they showed a demo where the agent called a certain prospect, and it was able to understand the requirement, whether they require a 1 bedroom or a 2 bedroom or whatever. And it was also able to book a apartment viewing for that particular client. Now that's all agentic AI. In sales, it is automatically being, I see a high level of adoption of agentic AI in the sales function, especially in the functions where there is cold calling. But if an AI agent can have conversations and close a sale, then it can definitely post some debits and credits for sure. Right. So agentic AI is coming for finance function as well, and we'll also look at a couple of examples here today. Now, after understanding the different levels of AI, how is AI going to impact FP&A? Okay. Now I'm going to show you two models. One where FP&A is being delivered without AI, and the other one is where FP&A is being delivered with some level of AI. Okay. Now, how is it going to be different? Are all organizations there yet? Not yet, but they are heading towards this. Without AI, right, it will be your traditional FP&A where you have largely disconnected systems. Your data is coming from multiple sources, your ERP, your CRM, your HRMS, supply chain, different kind of data. And usually there is manual data extraction, a ton of VLOOKUPs and XLOOKUPs or whatnot, right? And then you consolidate and finally get some reports ready, which are typically static reports. If you want to change something dynamic or if some scenarios change, then it is very difficult to do all that process again and again, right? So this is what we have been doing over the last couple of decades. Now with AI, what we are looking at is unified intelligence, which means we typically create a data lake and we put an AI engine or a model on top of this data lake. Now, this data lake can extract data from all different sources like your ERPs, your CRM, HRMS tools, your contract management software, whatever different kind of tools you are using. Okay, and there are logics defined, and the data lake will give you unified information. And then on top of that, you can engage ML models or AI models, and then you can also put some automation tools there to get real-time dashboards or your different kind of analysis and commentaries. So this is where most of the organizations are heading. Yes, some organizations have data lake or a data warehouse integrated with their ERPs and CRMs even before the AI wave happened. But AI is just going to accelerate all of these things, and it's going to make it much easier for us to extract insights from this data lake like never before. Right? That is where we are heading towards AI-enabled FP&A. Now, after understanding a little bit about AI-enabled FP&A, 4 different levels of AI, I'm going to show you 2 use cases of how your FP&A role is going to change with AI coming into the picture. Okay, so let's look at these use cases. And these are all very simple use cases. There are much more complex use cases that AI can handle, but this is just for demonstration for you to understand how the future of FP&A is going to look like with AI in picture. Now, the first one is variance analysis commentaries. Now, let me just quickly share my entire screen and not just the slides. First one is AI generated variance commentaries. Okay. Now, here is a quick Excel file. Okay. It's a very simple Excel file where we have the forecasted revenue for channel-wise sales. That's your stores and online sales. What is your actual revenue? Okay. And you see that our forecasted revenue was $15.2 million. And then there is a shortfall of $1.6 million in actual revenue. So our actual revenue is 13.6 million, and there is a shortfall of $1.6 million. And the reason for this is both the volume and price drivers. The volume is also lower compared to what we had forecasted, and the price is also lower compared to what we had forecasted. The price in online is significantly lower than what we had forecasted. The price in store is slightly lower than what we had forecasted. Okay, so these are the price and volume drivers behind the actual this thing. Now, even a basic Excel file like this for you to analyze, understand these variances, put waterfall charts, format them, put commentaries, right? Put thoughtful commentaries behind it, or dig deep into it and then put thoughtful commentaries. All of that still at least takes good 20 to 25 minutes for you, even with a small file like this. Now, imagine a real life like looking file which has tons and tons of data. Let's say if this had 70 odd products, then it would probably take a lot of time for you, probably a full day for you to analyze everything and come back with your management commentary, right? Now, with AI, what can be done is I'm going to show you a quick demonstration here. So I'm using a tool called Manus AI. Okay. Now, Manus AI looks very similar to like your chat GPT, but Manus AI has some advanced capabilities in terms of programming, in terms of it has near agentic AI like capabilities where it can understand instructions, do certain things autonomously. Okay. And the backend of Manus AI is powered with Claude and a model called Gwen, right? Manus originated as a Chinese tool. Now it is acquired by Meta. So this is completely managed by Meta now. Okay. So this is Manus AI. So I'm going to show you quick the same case, how it can be interacted or how it can be derived in Manus AI. Okay. So I'm going to just quickly show you the end outcome. Okay. It took me about few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes for me to execute this. So I pasted the same file that I showed you on the Excel sheet. Okay. And I gave it a prompt saying that study the Excel sheet, and from the Excel sheet, can you build a waterfall chart to explain the revenue variance? Use price, volume, and channel mix for your analysis. Also give me a 3 to 4 bullet point summary along with the waterfall chart. Okay. Now, Manus said, okay, got it. I'll analyze the Excel sheet, blah, blah, blah. It is talking and doing things on its own here. It is showing me the steps of how it is trying to process. Okay. And then finally, it built a good executive summary, right? Where it says revenue performance was $1.6 million. If you see the revenue performance, underperformance was $1.6 million here. Yeah. And then basically because of volume decline, then significant price erosion in online channel. I mentioned to you that the online channel pricing was much lower than what we had planned, right? So all of that commentary is here. It is giving me some tables as well, and also giving me quick waterfall chart as well. Then I said, okay, give me one slide executive presentation for this for this particular data. Yeah. And I said, okay, I'll create a professional one-side executive presentation, blah, blah, blah. I did not give any inputs about what the slide needs to contain, how it needs to be. It structured everything on its own, and a beautiful slide is presented autonomously by Menace AI, where it says a nice action title, $1.6 million revenue shortfall, driven by volume decline and pricing pressure. It's also giving that breakup of that $1.6 million. Volume effect is 0.91, price effect is 0.68, and mix shift is affecting as well. Look at this critical insight. Again, I did not give any information. It is processing on its own. Online channel accounts for 81% of the total revenue shortfall. Out of the 1.6 million shortfall, 1.3 million is online channel, which requires attention. It's also giving the revenue waterfall, where it's giving the volume effect, the price effect, giving a nice table as well, all on its own without any specific instructions. Okay, so this is how your management reporting is going to change. Yes, Manus AI is a general purpose AI tool. So are your Claude, ChatGPT, and all these tools. Okay, you must be thinking, okay, can I share company data with this, or can I give my month-end reporting pack or an Excel pack to this, and can it prepare a CFO level presentation? It can. Okay, but the challenge is that today most of the companies are restricting their staff from sharing confidential company data with these tools, because these are general purpose AI tools, and they can use the data that you share for training the model further. But the time is not very far, probably 6 to 12 months from now, you will have enterprise versions of all these tools, and your company or your manager will himself tell you that, hey, why are you preparing a presentation from scratch? Why don't you use Manus, or why don't you use Claude, or why don't you use XYZ software and do 60-70% of the tasks through AI? And you will also tell the same thing to your staff when you become a manager, or if you're leading a team, and if your team tells you that I need 2 hours to prepare a presentation, still why? Why don't you give command to a Manus or a Claude and then get the presentation ready in the next half an hour? That's what's gonna happen. So right now, don't worry about the tool or what kind of adoption your company is going to make. Right now, all you need to worry about is the skill set to talk to these tools and get things done from these tools. Enterprise versions of all these different tools are coming very, very soon. Okay. Now I'm going to give you one more use case. Okay. I told you that Manus AI is pretty much like an autonomous agent. It has near agentic AI qualities. It can do a lot of things on its own. Okay. Now, what I did was I connected my Zoho Books. Okay. I created a Zoho Books account for a company, which is a dummy company. Okay. I connected my Zoho Books to Manus AI through an API key. Okay. And then it can autonomously do accounting for me. I can show you just one example where I said, okay, raise an invoice on Veronica for accounting advisory services for AED 3750 dated 5th of March 2026. Okay, I'll create a new customer invoice. It did all of those things, invoice created and posted. In my Zoho Books, I was able to see that invoice directly. Okay, so it acted as if it's my accountant. I can get customer invoices raised. I can get things created. I can do reconciliations. I can upload bank statement and say, okay, do a bank reconciliation. I'm pretty sure it will be able to do at least 60-70% of the job in a bank reconciliation, if not a 100%. With time, it will improve as well. So this is more like your autonomous accountant. I can give instructions to it in natural language. Okay. Now I said, okay, if autonomous accounting is possible through an API key, can Zoho Books also do something in FP&A, or rather, can Manus do something in FP&A? So then I said, okay, I pasted a simple budget file. Okay, so it looks something like this. It's a basic budget file that I had created for 2025, like a test budget file, which had basic, let's say these are my customers. Okay, these are my 4 customers, and I have my tentative budgeted sales for October, November, December. Okay, assuming that my entity started in October. So these are some of my rough sales figures that I had created. And this is my total 2025 budget, where I'm saying $17,500 is my total revenue. Now, what I said, I pasted this budget file. I said, can you pull the sales register from my Zoho Books for the year 2025? So can you pull the sales register from my Zoho books for the year 2025 and compare it with the budget sheet attached? Act as an expert FP&A analyst and give me a sharp uh, one slide CFO level slide to explain the variances between actuals and the budget. Okay. So it said on it, I'll pull the actual data from Zoho books. It is pulling an actual sales register from Zoho books, comparing it with the budget file, all on its own. Okay. I'm not giving any specific instructions. And finally, it gave me a one slide CFO presentation. Sorry, it missed something in between. Let me just quickly say. So it gave me some tabular data, or it gave me some information which had all these different sales. Like Jan to September was nothing, October to December there was some sales, right? And then I said, okay, can you give me the slide again with a waterfall chart instead of a standard bar chart? A waterfall chart helps you explain the bridge between the 2 points, right? It gives you the positives, the negatives, the reasons for the variance, right? And then it said, okay, I'll update the slide with a waterfall chart. And then it finally gave me the output, which looks something like this. Okay. So 17.5K dirhams was my budgeted revenue in the Excel sheet. We saw that my actual revenue is 12,500 dirhams, 5,500 dirhams shortfall. Okay, it's giving me some key takeaways as well. November performance was down, pipeline miss, unbudgeted win. There was an unbudgeted win of Grace, which was 2.5K dirhams, right? It's giving me all that information all on its own. I did not instruct anything specific about these slides. Okay, it's explaining timing and mix explain, right? Revenue missed the budget by revenue missed budget by 5,500 AED. Look at the title. Okay, it's giving me an action title. It's giving me all that entire waterfall chart as to which clients missed and which client we got as an unbudgeted revenue as well. The red ones are the ones where we ended up doing lower revenue. The green one is where we got unbudgeted revenue as well. Right, so it gave me a one slide presentation. Now again, I'm for the sake of this webinar, I'm picking a small use case, but this is just a start, right? You will get enterprise versions of tools, whether it is inside your ERP or your FP&A tool or some external tools, which will start doing these kind of tasks for you. Okay. I hope it was insightful. This was very much Manus AI has a lot of agentic AI capabilities. I have done a lot of complex analysis with this. I've done complex analysis with this. I've built financial models. I've created websites. I've created dashboards. I've created presentations. I've done everything using Manus AI. This is more like an assistant to me right now, right? So for those of you who have not tried Manus AI, do try it out. I'm showing you in the paid version. I think the paid version starts with $17 per month. Try it out for your learning process. Okay. So this is how Manus AI was able to pull out information, sales register from my Zoho books, compare it with my budget file. Okay. Now, right now, there is no functionality to connect Zoho books, Manus AI with my Google Drive folder. Once that functionality is also introduced, I don't even need to give it instructions. I can also automate it by saying every month at this date, you give me a report. It will go into the Google Drive, look at my actuals, pull data from my Zoho books. Okay, Zoho books is a ERP for those of you who don't know. You can similarly connect it with QuickBooks, SAP, whatever, right? Unless there is an API key functionality, right? So there should be an API key functionality. If there is an API key functionality, Manus AI can be connected to that particular tool. So similarly, you can pull out a lot of information and it will give you information and reports autonomously, through this tool called Manus AI. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, please show one complex example. Okay, all right. So let's spend 2 minutes on a complex example. Hang on. Let me look at the file. Yeah. So this is a data. This is a budget data for an actual company that I work for. Of course, I've sanitized the numbers here, but the exact structure and everything is exactly the same. So this is where, are you all able to see the Excel sheet? I'm sharing the Excel sheet, right, Asif?
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay. All right, cool. So this is a budget data for a company, right? You have the budget 24, you have your client revenue, unidentified new business, your total revenue, different GL accounts, your staff salaries, all these things. This is for your budget 2024. And then you also have actuals for 23, 22, 21, which the data is there here. Okay. And then summary by practice. Practice basically means a department, the revenue generating department. So when you talk about finance, don't think about it as a finance department. This is a department that serves finance clients. Okay. So this is department level profitability that I've got in Excel sheet. Again, salary register, reconciliation, freelancer register, overheads percentages, a lot of information, right? So pretty complex information for somebody to kind of process it, right? So I uploaded this file. Okay. Now this is where we are This is after preparation of the budget. So now you have prepared the budget. Typically, after the budgeting exercise, there is a big meeting, right? So before getting it approved. So we have to prepare a presentation for that budget meeting. Okay, and then where this Excel file and the budget presentation slides will be discussed, and then the board or whoever it is, the senior guys in the company will approve that particular presentation as well. So what I did was I used a Manus AI to one second to prepare a CFO level presentation as well. So let me just quickly. So I pasted the same file that I mentioned to you here, and I said I'm going to share with you a P&L. This P&L has budget 2024 and also the actuals for the previous years. Study this P&L in depth. Act like an FP&A leader, and using the best practices in storytelling and presentation, prepare a presentation for the CFO, who will then use this to present it to the company CEO. I'm looking at 8 to 10 slide presentation with key insights. Feel free to use appropriate visuals to make it sharper. Make sure you keep the slides less text heavy and minimalistic. The presentation should be landscape format 16:9, right? So that it can be presented. So it understood the assignment. It started asking, it started working on its own. It first gave me the slide structures. It's all working on its own. Okay. And then once it gave me the first set of presentation, I saw that the department level profitability was missed in this. Okay. So it gave me all these slides. By the way, the best part about Manus AI is you can give instructions in between. You don't need to wait till the first instruction is completed. You can give instructions in the middle as well. Then I'm going to just show you quickly what changed. I said, okay, why have you not included any information about department-wise profitability, although the file has information along with the detailed staff cost? So I wanted it to include the staff cost information and the department-wise profitability as well. Then Manna said, you are absolutely right. I missed it, blah, 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 and then started processing on its own. Okay, it's processing everything on its own, and then gave me these two slides. Now let me show you the final outcome. It's all processing on its own here till here, and this is the final outcome. Now I'm not going to run you through the entire presentation. It's pretty decent as such. Okay, so it is giving me financial performance, executive summary for 23, for 24. Typically in a budget presentation, we start with the previous year data and then we go to the futuristic data. Critical focus areas. Again, these are all some text that it's giving me a snapshot of what happened in 21, 22, and where are we in terms of budget. It's giving me a comparison for the last 4 years from 21 to 24. You can see that my revenue has remained stable, or rather there is a slight revenue drop and my margin has dropped significantly. The Excel data has slight revenue drop. It has dropped from 27.2 million to 27 million, and there is a significant drop in the margins. It's dropped from 8.4 million to 6.3 million. That's giving me all that information, 23 performance highlights, 24 budget analysis. Now see, I did not instruct anything about what color to use and all. I just said storytelling best practices. So see, year 23 was very positive. So it is using all the blue and neutral colors here. But year 24, my revenue is dipping and my profitability is dipping. You see the color change. It has automatically started using red color more to highlight certain concerns and declines. Yeah. It says primary drivers of concern, root causes behind 2024 budget challenges, staff cost increase, staff cost ratio has increased, right? Operating cost has grown up. Here is giving me my top cost as well. Staff cost is my biggest, followed by other top 5 costs. What the highlight of this presentation, which I did not expect Manus to give, was these 2 slides, where it is giving me a department level profitability overview, neatly arranged in a descending order. So this is my highest performing department, and these are all my lowest performing departments, and these are all my loss making departments. Yeah, it's giving me that department wise profitability nicely arranged as well. And the best part also was this slide, where it is giving me this information. Let me just once again, let me play this for you. So it is giving me this information. This, according to me, was a highlight of that entire presentation, where it is giving me this heat map kind of thing as well. Okay, and it's giving me a BCG matrix style information, a 2x2 matrix, where it's giving me all these are my high profit, high revenue departments. These are all my low revenue, low profit departments, and these are all somewhere in the middle. Yeah. Then this also, according to me, was a great insight where it looked at my compensation cost or staff cost ratio. Okay. So the benchmark range is 50 to 55%. If you look at this is an advertising company. So in advertising company, we have typically 50 to 55% benchmark staff cost. It draw this line and gave me all those departments in red, which had staff cost beyond 55%. And then arrange them again in descending order to show me which department is doing well and which department is not doing well in terms of staff cost. So all this, again, some actions required, all this commentary generated on its own. staff cost analysis, how my staff cost was 52.9% and now it has gone to 56.7%, right? Exceeds industry benchmark of 50 to 55%. Did I, in my prompt, say anything about industry? No, it interpreted on its own. Industry benchmark of 50 to 55%. Then strategy concerns. These are my strategy concerns. Again, pretty decent job in terms of, I mean, if I was presenting this, I would probably edit about 20% of this presentation and still still kind of, sorry, just give me a second. I did about 20% of the presentation and still continue with this basic presentation as well. Again, advanced models, I've built websites, I've built Excel models with this, so plenty of things. In the interest of time, I'll move back to the slides. Just give me 1 second. So we saw the first use case, which was on the variance analyst commentaries, where it's generated a one-slide presentation. There was price, volume, and variance mix. The second one was autonomous reporting, where it extracted the sales register from Zoho books, compared it with my budget Excel sheet, which I gave it, and then it gave me a waterfall chart along with the explanation as well as to what we met in terms of business and what we did not meet in terms of business as well. So that's another use case that I wanted to quickly show it to you. Now, how do you as FP&A leaders think about adopting AI in your company, or where do you start? Okay, so there are 4 key pillars to build an AI-driven FP&A in your company. Okay, so what are those 4 key pillars? The first is the data. Data is always the foundation. If your data is not clear, no AI model can help you, no automation tool can help you. So it all starts with data. Make sure that your data is centralized. You have one data talks to each other, it is in sync. You have single source of truth in your company. So that is your basic foundation. Then comes your talent, right? You need to upskill your staff simultaneously. You cannot wait till the entire technology is implemented and then start training your team. This will happen simultaneously. And then comes your technology strategy, whether you want to buy a tool, build it internally, what kind of governance mechanism you want to build here, right? So risk and ethics is also important. What you want the person to share. For example, let's say if I decide that I have my biggest use case of implementing AI in payroll department. Okay, let's say I'm a payroll manager and I decide to implement AI in payroll. Okay, now how things would change. For example, if I'm a payroll manager, right, I would today go into a shared drive, look at the Excel sheet of all those people who got increments last year, right? Go and analyze things one by one. Instead of that, I might just give a command to an AI tool, okay, saying that, hey, can you dig into this data, dig into this file in the folder, and give me all the people who got increments last year in a separate Excel sheet along with an average increment, and to give me a separate file for promotions. It will work on its own like an analyst or like your junior, and then give you those files as well. Okay. Now, when it comes to risk and ethics, right? As a payroll manager, I should have that model governing only payroll-related data. Similarly, if you're an FP&A analyst, a corporate FP&A analyst, and you do not have access to the payroll, you in the FP&A tool or in the AI model that you implement, the governance mechanism should allow you to extract data only at the corporate level and not dig deep into salaries or the payroll data. That is the role of the payroll manager, right? That governance mechanism will also have to be determined, and that will define the risk and ethics in the company. So data, talent, technology, and risk and ethics or governance. All these 4 things are extremely important to establish a AI-driven FP&A or a AI-driven finance function for that matter. The key lies in working on all of these 4 pillars simultaneously. Okay. Now let's look at what happens. If you have the data, if you don't have the data, but you have the right kind of talent, you have trained them, there is technology, you invested in buying some tool or technology, okay, and the risk and governance is also there, framework is there. Yeah. But the underlying data itself is flawed, or you don't have data sanctity, then you will get hallucinations, your model will be flawed, your outcomes will be flawed, your predictive analytics will be flawed. Let's say you have clear data, technology, and risk and governance factors sorted out, but you have not trained your talent. There'll be underutilization, low adoption. You have the best tool, you have invested in the best technology, but you don't have the talent to operate it. It's like buying a Ferrari and you don't know how to drive it, right? So that's what happens if you are not training your talent. Then if you have data, if you have talent, right, and if you have sorted all the governance and risk mechanisms, but you are not using the right kind of technology, then again, there'll be scaling bottlenecks. You will still continue to end up doing manual processes, even though your talent is ready to use AI tools. And then finally, it comes if you have the data, talent, and the tech, but the governance mechanisms are not there, then there'll be compliance breaches. Okay? There will be risks that the data might flow here and there. There'll be risks that people who should not be accessing certain data through AI will end up accessing it. So these are the four different elements that are important for building an AI-driven FP&A. The success lies in the convergence of these things. Today, you might not be AI ready, or your FP&A function might not be AI ready. But if you work on all these four things simultaneously, then probably you have a chance that after 6 months, 8 months, all these four items will converge and you have all these four pillars sorted out. At that point in time, you will see that your AI adoption in the company and your efficiency significantly scales up. Till that time, one needs to be mindful of working on all these four parameters simultaneously, right? So convergence is the key and not in silos. Yes, you may be investing individually to learn more about AI as your talent. Okay? But imagine if you know everything about AI, but your company doesn't have the technology or the tools, then what will you do with that? So all of these four things will come simultaneous to build a AI-driven FP&A function. So that's a leader's perspective that I wanted to kind of share with you. Now that you have some understanding about AI, I gave you some examples. You know that how building an AI-driven FP&A function can be futuristic. It can help you grab some great opportunities, right? What we have done at FPI is to make sure that our students or our FP&A professionals are ready for all the AI tools, right? So we have come up with the AI for Finance and FP&A Masterclass. So this is a 4 to 5 weeks program. I think now it's upgraded to 5 weeks. It's a 5 weeks live online program where it starts on the 1st of May, where we are covering more than 25 plus specific use cases, slightly more complex use cases than what you saw in the demonstration today. 10 plus tools and frameworks. Okay, again, 10 hours of practical AI-enabled FP&A content, and we're covering all the popular tools like how to use Claude, ChatGPT, Manus, Copilot, specifically for FP&A use cases. Specifically for FP&A use cases. Okay, and all of these are specific FP&A use cases, and you'll see some advanced use cases as well. Whether it is financial modeling or budgeting or building management commentaries, all of these things will be taught to you using these tools. That's the AI for Finance and FP&A Masterclass. It is a live class which happens every Friday. You don't need to spend like tons of time. Every Friday, you will be spending 2 hours from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST. That's it. Every Friday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST. Again, 100% practical use cases, real life like looking data, examples, tools, how you can use them in your FP&A function. You will get certification from FP&A Professionals Institute. There will be monthly Q&A sessions, guest sessions. As once you become alumni of FPI, you get plenty of benefits by being part of those sessions as well. And then you have access to global FPI community where you can collaborate and discuss a lot of things, not just AI, but many more things around FP&A as well. The next cohort of AI for FP&A Masterclass is starting on the 1st of May 2026, which is a Friday. It will start at 8 p.m. IST and it will go on for 5 weeks. Okay, 1st of May 2026, Friday, 8 p.m. IST, and it will go on for 5 weeks. The fee for this program is USD 247. Again, no tricks or gimmicks here, no discounts or whatever. I don't want to kind of inflate and then tell you something, right? The plain and simple pricing, $247. You get access to lifetime recordings. If there are any updates, you get access to all those updates as well. You can also use coupon code early10 to get for the first 10 people, you will get 10% off on the $247. You can use coupon code early10. Asif will be sharing the enrollment link in the chat box. One thing that I would definitely recommend all of you to do in 2026 is take both FP&A and AI very seriously, right? Because your basic rule-based accounting kind of jobs are coming for automation. So build your roles into FP&A, finance business partnering, and then of course make them AI enabled, right? Get ready for the AI wave. So the next cohort is starting on 1st of May 2026. That's Friday, 8 p.m. IST. FPNAjobs.com is our latest initiative. Make sure that you create a detailed profile on FPNAjobs.com. This is where we are regularly trying to bring recruiters and FP&A talent on one platform so that we are able to get that chance to our alumni to get their next job from here. So the next cohort starts on 1st of May 2026. Be in the race. The first 10 people will get early 10. Use the coupon code early10 and you will get 10% off.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.